Broadcasts of HIKI No are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo. And by HIKI No founding underwriter Bank of Hawaii, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI No. And HMSA, helping Hawaii's youth and their families stay healthy today, tomorrow, and for generations to come. HMSA, trusted for generations.
Next on HIKI No, stories from across the island chain.
On Hawaii Island, students from Hawaii Preparatory Academy paint a portrait of a fourth-generation Waimea cowboy, while students from Waiakea High School introduce us to a running coach who dedicated his life to raising awareness about brain cancer.
On Maui, students from Kekaulike High School tell of how one of the faculty there became inspired to teach a class in forensic science, while students from Maui High School travel to Oahu to see how a Nobel Peace Laureate from Burma inspires local students.
On Oahu, students from Kamehameha Schools, Kapalama, show us a new Hawaiian cultural center on campus that was decades in the making, while students at Ewa Makai Middle School highlight a science teacher with a rough exterior but a heart of gold. And Kalani High School sketches a portrait of Hawaii's answer to the Marvel Comics founder, Stan Lee.
Also from Oahu, this episode of HIKI No comes to you from Kapolei High School, home of the Hurricanes.
That's next on the nation's first student statewide news network, HIKI No.
Can do.
Welcome back to Kapolei High School, where we provide an academy program that allows our students to take classes to pursue their career goals. Some of the classes that we provide are Human Services, Health, Graphics, and Business. The Academy program was launched in 2004 to create a student-centered learning environment. This program is only offered to upperclassmen to prepare them for life after high school. Our first story takes us to the campus that overlooks Honolulu, where students from Kamehameha Schools, Kapalama, show us their new Hawaiian Cultural Center.
Students at Kamehameha's Kapalama campus have been digging into their native culture by way of a new facility dedicated to all things Hawaiian. The Ka'iwa Kilamoku Cultural Center helps guide students back to their roots.
This building in itself, it carries this aura and this feeling when you come in that you feel comfortable and you feel welcomed, and that's what being Hawaiian is about. These values that we learn in class, like ho'okipa, it's just a being and a way of life, I think.
The center is intended to be a place where people can gather, people of all ages, where we can learn from one another. We're excited about our classes. We want our students to not only learn from the kumu, but also from our makua and kupuna.
From whipping up culinary creations to learning traditional artisan techniques, the center opens a new chapter to students not found in textbooks.
That is free choice. You can do that on your own.
This class is about getting back to our roots. It's more of learning about what our kupuna did in their daily lives. And it's a class that is trying to teach us how we can apply those skills and those things that our ancestors used in the 21st century today.
But creating the center was no easy task. After 20 years of negotiating different philosophies, personalities, and approaches to fulfill the vision of our school's founder, Bernice Pauahi Bishop, the center finally came to fruition this past September and earned a spot on Honolulu's Hillside campus.
So yes, it did come with a lot of challenges. As much as people perceive us to be a Hawaiian school back then, the focus really wasn't on Hawaiian language or cultural studies. Pretty much it was ingrained in our minds that we prepare for college and that we prepare in a certain way.
Why is this your kuleana?
The Cultural Center hopes to extend its reach beyond the campus to those seeking to perpetuate Nohona Hawaii, the Hawaiian way of living and learning.
But I think that we're definitely moving in the right direction, especially with this new Culture Center and offering courses like this. And I think it's really up to how each student interprets their experiences here. Like some get more of a Hawaiian experience while others don't.
And it's through these kinds of hands-on experiences that the Hawaiian culture can thrive for future generations to come. Reporting from Kamehameha Schools' Kapalama campus, I'm Tiana Haubuna for HIKI No.
We're back here at Kapolei High School, which features the Cap City Poly Club, a club that allows students to explore and practice the Polynesian cultures through song and dance. Gathering daily, including intersessions, these students work hard on perfecting their routines through discipline, practice, and dedication. Poly Club performs for the community at events such as May Day, assemblies, and our annual fundraiser, Fia Fia Night. For our next story, students from Maui High School traveled to Oahu to cover a visit from a Nobel Peace Prize laureate.
Hawaii is regarded as a paradise for many reasons. The amazing mix of people, culture, and customs has attracted leaders from all over the world, especially icons in the practice of peace.
They're very intrigued by the notion of how Hawaii has been able to do this in the 21st century and are interested in learning about our traditions, our cultures, and as well the host culture of Hawaii, which is grounded, of course, on aloha.
Experiencing this aloha spirit was Aung San Suu Kyi, a Nobel Peace Prize laureate from the Southeast Asian country Burma. On January 26th, Suu Kyi addressed an audience of about 300 students and teachers at the Pikaki room of the Blaisdell Exhibition Hall for a Pillars of Peace event presented by the Hawaii Community Foundations and the Omidyar Fellows.
Please join me in welcoming Dasu to the podium.
Her speech included her experiences under house arrest for her vocal and nonviolent protesting of the military junta that was ruling her country, as well as personal stories that shaped her into the peace leader she is now known as.
It was not something I minded terribly much because I quite liked being peaceful. It was very peaceful living by myself.
But her main message was about the importance of peace and compromise.
If we could know what the other side wanted, then we would know how much we could give and what compromise we could come to. Compromise requires courage.
Takeda brought in Aung San Suu Kyi in hopes to inspire the students of this island. They also found out who inspired her.
Madame Curie, which might seem a little curious, Madame Curie being part of my pantheon of heroes and heroines. This was because I admired her dedication to what she had, to the path that she had decided to follow.
Accompanying her influences is a strong sense of compassion, a trait she urges others to mix into their everyday lives.
Only yesterday I was talking about it, and I mentioned the fact that love is very close to hate, but compassion is totally removed from hatred. This is why compassion is essential to peace.
Taking Suu Kyi's main message of peace, one student in particular realizes that
we need to work together in order to succeed in life. And so if we can obtain peace, then we can achieve more things together because people can do more things when they work together.
But as powerful as the stories and messages Aung San Suu Kyi taught was the impact of her strong words that won over students and teachers alike.
I'm hoping that they'll be inspired to follow their dreams, to say that compassion and justice, social justice, are important causes to follow up in their lives and in our community.
And students have already come up with ways to do just this.
So I'm thinking if I was to go back and tell my classmates or whatever that we can find peace in our campus, and not only will I be the leader, but they would be a leader also.
In a short hour-long presentation, Aung San Suu Kyi gave students the motivation and inspiration to last a lifetime. This is Jessica Green from Maui High School for HIKI No.
If you'd like to comment on this story or anything you see on Hikino, join the discussion at facebook.com/HikinoCanDo or send us a tweet at twitter.com/HikinoCanDo.
Welcome back to our beautiful campus here at Kapolei, where you may have noticed these little guys planted all over our school. These o'opu, or mud skippers, were created by artist Solomon Kauinana in 2005 to symbolize enlightenment and adaptation. O'opu are swept from their mountaintop homes down to the ocean and then fight upstream back to their homes. The artist meant this to represent the struggle high school students go through as they grow into adulthood.
We travel now to upcountry Maui, where students at a new Hikino school, King Kekaulike High, introduce us to the teacher of a class right out of CSI.
Forensic science is the application of scientific principles and procedures to material evidence in order to be of use in a court of law. Okay, so today's the second part of your lab. Okay, when I started teaching human physiology, I noticed that a lot of the students had questions about decomposition, about the body and the way it decays and wounds, and so I implemented a chapter on forensics, and the way the students responded was unbelievable. The kind of work I got back was just very impressive, and I thought, if I could make this into a year course, the response I would get from the students would be astronomical. Let these touch this. Okay. So students learn techniques like fingerprinting, collecting blood samples, DNA, lip impressions, glass fracture patterns, analyzing hair samples, and how it's handled, how it's used in court, how it's presented. Because some of them I pressed really hard and some of them I didn't. The most gratifying thing to me is seeing my students being able to make the connections. That, oh, I got it, now I get it. You know, they begin to put two and two together. And when I see that in their faces, that's the whole reason why I'm here. That's why I come to school every day, to see that. That's the biggest compliment as a teacher I can get, is just seeing that expression, that look in my students' faces when they get it. I try to instill in them before they leave me the discipline it takes to succeed in college and the real world, and the amount that it's not easy out there, and the amount of effort they have to put into everything. Not just, you know, their homework or their exams, but everything. And it's not easy. And I'm hoping that if they learn anything in my class, it's hard work, it's discipline, and it's to always have that drive to never be satisfied that they can do better and better themselves. And it's up to them to figure out how they can do it, to find it within themselves.
We're back here at Kapolei High School, which is the youngest public high school on the island. It was built to accommodate the booming population on the Leeward Coast. Opened in July of 2000 with only one building and an office, the high school began with 375 students, all freshmen. Each year, a new building was added along with the new class. The original freshmen graduated in 2004 and represented Kapolei High School's first graduating class. We take you now to Waimea on Hawaii Island, where students from Hawaii Preparatory Academy introduce us to an HPA graduate who is carrying on a long-time family tradition.
Scott Spence, a 1997 HBA alumni and lifelong Waimea resident, has always dreamed of working at Parker Ranch. And at this year's 50th annual Parker Ranch 4th of July Rodeo, he demonstrated those Paniolo skills by winning the all-around Parker Ranch Cowboy Award. These Paniolo skills run back many generations for Scott's family.
Basically, as my grandfather, he worked in a breaking pen at Parker in the 40s, and his brothers worked at a breaking pen as well. And that's my mom's side. My dad's side, my great-grandfather was a cowboy boss up there. And then my grandfather was kind of jack-of-all-trades kind of guy. And my dad worked for Parker. He started out as a cowboy, then he moved up to the agronomy section. Introducing new grasses, fertilizing, bringing in electric fence, trying to modernize what ranching was to what it is now. I'm more of the cows and the horses kind of aspect. I have the appreciation for grass, but that's my thing. When we got our busy season, like when we're branding and weaning, that's when we're riding more horse. When we're not doing that, it's a lot of just maintenance, repairs, stuff like that. There's a lot of times, it's just a regular work day. You check your water, check your fences, deliver your mineral. The big picture is it's a routine. You just gotta, find something in work that you like. And this year was the 50th anniversary. It started out as just a Parker Ranch Cowboys only event. It's kind of Richard Smart's his play day for the Cowboys. We kind of did it for him. They got the regular events, the poiu, dally team roping, ranch mugging, junior senior ribbon mugging, and they got the horse races. That's what I pretty much wanted. There's a 1/8 mile, the quarter mile. We just started not too long ago, the 5/8, which is kind of a grueling one, and then the relay race. It used to be big before. It's kind of tapered off a little bit. So this is pretty much the only rodeo that we actually have horse races. So yeah, but yeah, it felt pretty good. And the guys that I've raced against, they've been doing it for how many years? And for the 50th year, represent Parker, represent yourself.
This is Walter Disney reporting from Hawaii Preparatory Academy for HIKI No.
We're back here at Kapolei High School, where every Thursday we give local farmers and local businesses an opportunity to sell their goods and produce at the Makeke Market. The market not only gives local farmers a great place to sell, but also provides Kapolei's families a place to hang out, eat healthy, and even learn a little about Hawaiian culture. Poi pounding, pony rides, and holiday-themed activities are just some of the exciting things that go on here at the Makeke Market.
Our next story comes from East Oahu, where students at Kalani High School introduce us to a young artist who draws inspiration from one of the great comic book innovators of all time.
Kalani High School senior Keahi Amua is an aspiring comic book artist and wants to be just like Stan Lee, one of the founders of Marvel Comics.
Stan Lee, he's a Marvel comic artist. He's been working even during the World War II since then, and that just shows that I can keep going strong like him.
The way I come up with superheroes and supervillains is actually kind of easy. I go through my normal life and just randomly think of things that I want to put together, and sooner or later they become a superhero. With like maybe a bottle of hot sauce. That's how I came up with one of my superheroes. He has just super hot flames and he's really cool. The way I use art to express myself is by being someone I'm not, going to places I've never been, and just showing what type of person I really am. I actually like to draw at school because most of my ideas come to me during then, and when I'm at home I draw on the floor because it's really comfortable and I have all my stuff around me, so it's really easily accessible. The way I'm going to try to get my art out there is by using social media and kind of like Facebook, Instagram, get people to follow me, look at my art, and have them kind of show off to other people what I can do. Hopefully with that I can be able to get famous.
One day I hope that someday I'll become someone's inspiration.
This is Megan Shinagawa from Kalani High School for HIKI No.
We're back here at Kapolei High School standing in our aquaponics farm. The aquaponics farm is a product of Kapolei's commitment to sustainability and conservation. Tucked away behind our portables, the system takes waste from tilapia fish and uses it as a food source for the vegetation. We currently grow kalo, green onion, beets, and other fruits and vegetables. With the shortage of land we have here in Hawaii, aquaponics is a great way to grow food and other vegetations without the land and soil. It represents the future of farming, and here at Kapolei High School, we pride ourselves on being a bridge between the past and the future. Our next story takes us to the Ewa side of Oahu, where students from Ewa Makai Middle School paint a portrait of a teacher with a rough exterior but a caring heart.
Yes, I was definitely scared of him ever since I got my schedule. Yeah.
After the stories the 8th graders told me, yeah, I was really intimidated by him.
Yes, I think Mr. Wong is strict.
I've heard he's mean, and I've walked in the hallway and I've seen him, and he yells. No.
Mr. David Wong, a science teacher at Ewa Makai Middle School, has a reputation for being the school's most frightening teacher on campus. Intimidating as Mr. Wong is, he has a different way of teaching his students that he's developed over his 21 years of being a teacher. Although he may seem frightening, he carries the best intentions for his students.
It's not important that my students like me. My number one job is to build relationships with my students, but that the relationship itself will help them to be prepared for the next few years and maybe more years after that.
That's fine. And it fits, right? Okay, she's already ahead of you.
I'm strict, and I have a high expectation of my students to be good communicators, communicate with me, communicate with each other. It's learning how to formulate those questions, formulate those answers, and I do that because it's really the thinking process. And if we can get students to practice asking good questions, we have evidence that they're being complex thinkers. And with those complex, higher order questions, they can pursue higher answers and more discovery for themselves.
RJ, use 2 hands. You have 2 hands, use 2 hands.
For me, the most surprising thing is when students don't expect something and they discover without having expected it. That's surprise. I want my students to become, first of all, kind people. I want them to be generous. I want them to be thankful. I want them to be community contributors as good citizens in this country, to give back of their talents and their skills. I want them to experience success and excellence in their life. I want them to have strong, healthy families.
Yes, I do believe Mr. Wong is preparing me for high school because he's showing me how in the world of beyond, you know, if you don't have a plan, you don't get in. If you don't have any good purpose, you're not going. They don't care.
Mr. Wong is a great teacher, to be honest.
I definitely believe he's preparing me for high school.
Although Mr. Wong carries the reputation of the hammer, which stems from his authoritative personality, this makes the students look at him with a different kind of respect. It gives them the experiences they need to be successful in high school and beyond. His real-world teaching methods give students a level of responsibility and pushes them to become better people.
I hope that my students will continue to be appreciative, and usually it's after the fact. They not usually appreciative while they're with me, but they usually come back and say, thanks, I didn't realize it, but you really prepared me for high school, or you prepared me for college. You prepared me to think better, ask better questions. You taught me how to get along with people and to value relationships. And I would hope that they would be appreciative of that.
Although Mr. Wong can be frightening at first, he only hopes that his students can appreciate everything he has taught them about life. This is Madeline Rodriguez with Ewa Makai Middle School for HIKI Now.
Welcome back to Kapolei High School, an exciting school that sits at the very heart of our growing community. The city of Kapolei has been referred to as the second city because of its growing population and its constant development. New stores are sprouting up everywhere, as are government buildings, homes, UH West, and the Kroc Center. There are even plans to build a new mall, which will rival Ala Moana in size and variety. Not to mention Ko'olina and the new Disney resort, Aulani. Not everyone is excited about the expansion, however. Many residents feel that new developments, as well as the building of the new rail system, will lead to overpopulation and land erosion. Our final story takes us to the Hilo side of Hawaii Island, where students from Waiakea High School introduce us to a coach who dedicated the final years of his life to raising awareness about brain cancer.
Running is often a solitary sport. It takes lots of mental concentration and stamina to maintain a good pace.
For retired Waiakea High School track coach Wayne Big Dog Joseph, running is a way of life.
Running's my life, and walking, and I believe it's given me more time on this earth. And exercise, I think, is the key component. And like I said, I walk 5 to 7 miles a day, every day.
Big Dog was diagnosed with stage 4 brain cancer in February 2012. Although running and walking cannot cure brain cancer, he believes that it has prolonged his life.
Cancer made me aware that every day is a blessing. And I don't take anything for granted. And I know I have stage 4 glioblastoma, which is brain cancer. Stage 4 means it's terminal. And I've gained a better appreciation for life.
Running has given Joseph time to slow down and appreciate things. He has decided to make the spreading of brain cancer awareness his new mission.
And I need to promote it more because I want to make people aware that gray ribbons are for specifically brain cancer.
Many people know the pink ribbon is symbolic for breast cancer. However, many are unaware that there is a gray ribbon that represents brain cancer. Joseph wants to raise awareness and help spread the message that gray matters. While pink is important, in 2012, it was estimated that about 22,900 people in the United States were diagnosed with brain cancer. Of those, 1 out of 3 will live longer than 5 years after diagnosis. Choosing a solitary sport for personal fitness has ironically provided Wayne Joseph with a growing community of support. He has brought many together, and together, they're spreading the word on brain cancer research. From Waiakea High School, for HIKI No, this is Jana Jobs.
Well, that's it for this episode of HIKI No.
Remember, all of these stories were written, shot, and edited by students like us.
Hopefully you've enjoyed watching them as much as we've enjoyed bringing them to you.
Make sure to tune in to next week's episode for more proof that Hawaii students HIKI No
Can do.
Broadcasts of HIKI No are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo. And by HIKI No founding underwriter Bank of Hawaii, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI No. And HMSA, helping Hawaii's youth and their families stay healthy today, tomorrow, and for generations to come. HMSA, trusted for generations.